Sup, shooters, my name is Logan, aka Spider Hands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out an artist named Ellis Hadlock, titled Fusion to Love, because this Fusion to Love is an album, a 7-track record. We switch over to here. We've got the album art here. No, sorry, I didn't mean to get all excited. I just wanted to load the album art. Oh, you have to click this one. Here, isn't it gorgeous? Look at this album art. It's phenomenal. I adore it. So Ellis Hadlock, Fusion to Love. We're going to listen through all these tracks from start till finish, and I'm going to turn off my main camera because it's low on battery. And it would really suck if I couldn't do a conclusion to this review. That'd be really, really annoying. And we're going to listen through each of them, each of these 7, from start till finish, and we are going to hear what we think. So yeah, Ellis Hadlock, Royal Time. Oh. Those lady vocals are insane, dude, and that piano works gorgeous as well. Oh, lots of different ingredients to this one. Oh, this is exciting. Is this an instrumental album? Because I like instrumental albums. The reason I like instrumental albums is because you have to really, as a musician and composer, tell the story without spoon-feeding someone lyrics. I love singers, I love vocalists, but this is a different ball game, you know? So we're gonna see how this goes if that's the case. If there's vocals, that's dope. But either way, it'll be fun. I'm liking the mixing. I'm liking how the strings are sitting with the piano parts. I'm wondering what the mix of recorded parts are to if there's any MIDI instruments. Itchy nose. Itchy nose. I'm liking those chimey sort of bells as well. Oh. Kind of a moogish kind of synth there. Oh, it's gone away. Wait, the vocals coming back in. Royal Time is an interesting concept. Part B? There's a lot of dynamic range to this, despite the fact that I also know it's been limited pretty well. Like in the mastering chain. Everything's sitting nice and sort of well glued together without being without it intermingling too much. I'm liking the varying sort of lead melodies and how they take in turns as well. It's very regal start to an album. Trying to sort of figure out by looking at the song titles what the journey is, or whether this is just kind of What a stunning way to finish. It's almost contemplative. Is that a word? Contemplative? I think it is. You sort of meditate to that track. Actually, no, There was enough little slight changes in it to keep it engaging the whole way through. I mean, most of these tracks are over that traditional kind of single 2 to 4 minute mark, which is good because you should have some really kind of interesting sort of developments throughout these. You know, often when you have something less than, this is Beauty and Us, by the way. Often when you have something that's less than, especially less than 3 minutes, you really have that one key musical concept and you have to kind of really dig in deep and sort of cement that. For 4 to 5 minutes, you've got a chance for a little bit of an interlude or something like that. You know, you can have a part C or a part D or whatever. Cool, so we're using similar instruments between the tracks. That's awesome. Stylistic cohesion. A lot of color to this. It is very beauty. Very beauty. It's beautiful. It is beautiful music. There's like a kindness to it. The piano doesn't really seem to want to go too far in either direction in the frequency spectrum. It's kind of staying in a range to really help it kind of match up and sort of fit in with the rest of the elements. This piano is very similarly panned to like another piano I heard yesterday. I'm wondering if it's like a similar piano type or if how they've done it. Oh, woodwinds. I'm wondering if I can put this album art so that it's a little bit smaller on the screen. I don't think you can. Are you serious, Music B? As this is... Really, Music B? Okay. I guess I can't. Well, I think we've seen the album art anyways. The reason I can't just have it up the whole time is because I can't, you know, you can't see these tracks, for example, here. You won't be able to see that there. Whereas if you can make it smaller, like if you can fit it into this area over here, then that'd be sweet. I don't know why Music B doesn't allow you to do that. Mal will just probably have to find a different one at some stage. But the trouble is, otherwise, I'm pretty happy with this software. Getting back to the song, this is very kind of gentle, isn't it? Again, a very solid understanding of how to use lead instruments to create sort of a kind of a vocal performance without necessarily, obviously without having lyrics. These harmonies as well here are gorgeous. Kind of sounds like this could be like kind of game music or something like that, like an RPG music or something like that. I'm wondering if Ellis Hadlock has considered doing some sort of work for like game devs or something like that. Honestly, they'd probably do quite well at it. There's like a freedom with that right hand on the piano that I adore. I like that it's allowed to do its own thing and remain separate, kind of glide over top. Oh, shimmers! Where are we going with that? They were stereo panned. I adore the stereo panning within this album as well. It's really cool. It's a very professional sort of experience so far. Fusion to love. I can guarantee you that it's probably going to be reasonably difficult for me to find anything to sort of critique about this, so... Sometimes I have people say to me, you know, Logan, why you need to be more critical? And it's like, well, then you need to make music that doesn't sound good, you know? There aren't any obvious errors or mistakes with the production at this point. And I think that if I was deliberately doing these reviews to try and find fault, it would kind of make them like, nothing is completely and utterly perfect. So I'm sure that if I looked hard enough, I could find something I didn't really like a resonant frequency or something. But like, what's the fun in that, right? And also, by the time people have mastered and sent it away to engineers, like the work it takes to then go and redo the whole entire album just because of one resonant frequency and one instrument, especially when I've already gone through several engineers, it's more likely that I'm incorrect about it. I'm liking the drums in this. It's a nice shift of pace. We got Fusion to Love here, track number 3. I'm liking there's a little more sort of like pace in the piano work in general. Ooh. Some really interesting sort of textures to these sort of synth pads that are going on here. Again, there's a consistency with the overall sort of coloration and tonality between these tracks. It's kind of like a big picture kind of album by the feel of it at the moment. That was interesting. That was a really interesting split there, how it just kind of faded out a little bit, you know? I dig that. I think it's good to have space, especially when you have sort of instruments that are performing in sort of a legato kind of manner. You need to have them have rest so that people kind of don't get too comfortable within it, even if it's supposed to be sort of hypnotic or mesmerizing. Like, I think this is a really stellar effort. It's definitely more kind of, I'm doubling down on what I'm saying about this being like music you use in like a video game or something like that. I really hope that they're involved with that. I don't say that about every piece of music I listen to. Like I listened to another piano sort of based instrumental the other day, which sort of would more suit like sort of movie soundtracks. Just because you've got certain instruments doesn't mean it suits certain, like the same medium. But to be clear, this also works well as a standalone song as well, right? It's a very zen kind of experience with this. You get the impression that Ellis Hadlock created music that they wanted people to sort of like imagine, like close their eyes and imagine to, you know what I mean? And like having the spare time to imagine is a luxury that I think everyone deserves to have in this day and age. Ooh. Okay, there's a little bit of resonance in that. I'm not super sure if I'm super loving, but I think it's handled compressed well enough that they can get away with it. Yeah, it was like a 0.25 dB down, and that would have been absolutely perfect, I reckon. But it's okay. It could just be these headphones. Typically, it's a lower frequency that makes it sound louder than it might actually be. So, obviously, again, I'm pretty sure Alice has already done this in their mixing and mastering chain somewhere. But you typically want to have that high pass to get rid of any sort of like sub bass that you won't be able to hear through most sources. Just so that when you put it through something like that's more sort of bassy, you don't have any unpleasant surprises. But that's fine. That's all right. That's like a minor thing. You need that variation. If it had just been one of those parts repeated and kind of riffed over a little bit, it wouldn't have had nearly the same kind of effect. I'm liking how big and like roomy those pads are. And that kind of going from side to side in the headphones. Like, this would have taken an incredible amount of time to really program and get exactly the way that Ellis Hadlock wanted it. This is not amateur level stuff. This is not even really intermediate. This is top level kind of output. It's kind of like we're like crossfades in it, and like I think we have a bit of automation with the volume even on several tracks. Bit of pretty layer or something like that. Bit of chorus. Oh, that's an ominous kind of bassy kind of chord, isn't it? Bom 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 bom. Yep, no, it's a chord. You're using the stacked chords in order to get a bigger sound. Well, no, stacked when they're used at the same time, isn't it? Oh. Where are we going with this? Distant signals. I reckon if you put some bass drums on top of that, that'd be super dope. Someone do a remix of this. Someone do a remix of this. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. That'd be dope. But I think the fact that it can stand on its own without needing that kind of percussive groove to kind of fuel it forward is telling. Oh, it's wonderful. So luscious. I don't really know. I'm running out of things to say about it. Like, looking at distant signals moving closer and they have arrived the last time, I'm assuming it's about like maybe aliens or something like that, or people coming to planet Earth to kind of come and check it out. And this is a sort of indication that they're on their way, right? A little bit of uncertainty about what's going on, but it's very kind of platonic. And then we get that kind of low sounding resonating kind of bass synth here to kind of signal that things aren't as they seem. There's contrasts within this. There's hope mixed with animosity. See that? Whoa, that was a sexy sounding synth at that end, man. That was a nice little kind of whoosh in the envelope. We got space trippy now. We're already sort of getting close to that halfway point. That's nuts, man. This sounds very spacey. Are you getting dubstep? What are we getting? We're getting drum bass? I'm loving those side pan brrrs. The riser is strong, dude. It's kind of like you're in a spacesuit in the great dark, isn't it? This is very different to the start, as you know. Is this meant to sort of like allow you to imagine a journey? Like, was that... Is this kind of like... You were in space and then you were like, right, I've got to go to the next planet or something like that. Now this is kind of like going to warp speed or something like that. This could also work for like a cyberpunk album or something like that. Oh, have we gone through hyper speed now? Are we back to normal? We're kind of searching for the next location to drop off at and go and explore. I'm liking this kind of breakbeatish kind of stuff that's going on here. I'm liking the kind of clutchy kind of snares and going on, the kind of sort of metallic sounds to that percussion. I like how we're just kind of going between different sort of, I don't know, like there's a set kind of A, B, and C in this. We're going like them in sort of quick succession, as if we are truly going on a journey through space. Oh? Is there a part D coming in? Nope, I think this is based on the theme earlier on. That's cool. This is kind of like a 5-minute long interlude, isn't it? There's a lot of reverb to that kit, actually. I'm liking how airy and atmospheric it is. Like, how do you even decide? I don't know, of course, you decide by listening and sort of figuring out if you're happy with it. The brightness the reverb indicates they've probably EQ'd it post-reverb, which is a really good thing to do. Because the reverb can sometimes accentuate frequencies you cut beforehand. Or the mad bit, or add them back. I'm not like yawning because I'm sleepy or bored or anything like that. Just had a late night last night. That was stunning. Dude, like, for that to just fly by as quickly as it did, that's 5 minutes. And it just felt like one little kind of whoosh in the envelope. Moving closer, number 6. Ooh. Oh, that is an what synth is that? Oh, wow. I want that synth. I want it. It's one of my favorite synth sounds I've heard. Like lead synths like that. I without hyperbole, I genuinely adore. I love how peppy it is. Reminds me of Stardew Valley a little bit. In fact, a lot of the music off of this kind of reminds me of Stardew Valley. If you've ever played that game. Which you should. Don't care if should's a dirty word, you should. Kind of sounds like it might have been sort of like done with like a MIDI kind of pickup on a guitar or something like that, like like that, you know, like kind of stuff. I mean, I can't, yeah. Hey, there is a guitar in there. That's cool. I like that. There is a guitar. Oh yeah, we got a sequencer going. Kind of bounces a little bit. Oh, we got some very kind of... Got some horns? Kind of... It's very kind of succinct and authoritative, that tonality. Oh? Getting ready for a showdown or something like that. Again, I have to ask, how many of these instruments were played? I'm assuming that was probably DI'd or recorded through an amp. These extended chords on the guitar are succulent. Is that recorded on a Strat? That sounds like a Stratish kind of sound to me, my dude. There's a bit of dissonance in those horns, but that's okay. I mean, those dips and throws. Like, each of the tracks in this record has like its own distinct sort of identity and personality, but they retain a connection throughout the sort of the overall sort of mastering, and also just sort of the way the main melodies and motifs are approached. Thank you. My favorite synth sound I've heard in a very long time. Ooh, that was sexy, dude. I'm willing to bet that that could be a MIDI pickup on that guitar. They have arrived, the final track for today. Oh, the jingles are back. The tingles. The finale. Finale.
They're as real as you and me.
What? Vocals. Vocal sample. Oh, this is not as peppy and full of fun and love as we thought it was in the previous tracks. The end of Moving Closer is a lot more relevant now. The wham. Now this is very cinematic.
Nobody knows why they're here, but we have to find
out. Is this Alice talking at the moment? I wonder how much of this was like... How much of this was Ellis Hadlock like responsible for? Did they do everything on this? Because that's possible. Now, nowadays people are producing, mixing, and mastering their own records. It's so cool. I mean, obviously, as long as it's done properly, which it has been in this instance. Oh?
I know it doesn't make any sense, but you'll see for yourself soon.
It's very sinister. There's like an element of hope in there, but there's also a lot of kind of like, oh, not sure if I'm really keen for this. But this is kind of heavenly, isn't it? It's very sweet.
They're always there, watching, listening, waiting, here.
Okay, we've got that theme there, that arpeggiated theme, with a very kind of like filtered, kind of moogish kind of synth here. What's the go with this?
They're here.
Oh, that is their theme, isn't it? Had the horn of the spaceship going blah 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 blah. Is there an acceptance or is there a battle? What's gonna go?
UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrials. It doesn't matter what you call them. They've arrived.
This is stunning. This is like one of the most well-constructed atmospheric albums I've listened to in an incredibly long time. It's brilliant. They Have Arrived was entertaining throughout. We're gonna conclude in a moment, but I just have to say for the record that I don't have a lot to really complain about with this. I really don't. I'm just gonna like set it back to that. Let's talk about this track. Let's talk about this album. Fusion to Love by Ellis Hadlock. My goodness. Like we'll put the album art up so you can have a look at that, right? My goodness. What did you guys think listening to this? Because I am blown away by what I've heard today. Ellis is clearly someone who knows how to tell a story without needing to speak it. The production, mixing, mastering were totally on point, as loud as it needed to be without the dynamic range being crushed. The EQing done meant that their various instruments sat really well in the mix without sort of interfering or sort of intermingling with each other to a point where it would be sort of debilitating. The performances, like the guitar parts, I'm assuming there might have been some MIDI pickup used as well in some bits, or like a MIDI or a keytar, or even like just obviously just like a pitch shifter or something like that on like a keyboard, but like, or a mod wheel. But I think that it's a display of sort of talent and a general awareness of the fundamental rules of creating music, and then you just kind of shot past those kind of expectations. I mean, this is a professionally produced instrumental album, apart from like the vocal sort of talking at the end. That was, as I understand it, about sort of coming to Earth and what happens during that time where they during their travel, trying to reach out to them and them sort of arriving. That's my understanding of the start to finish of it. And each of the 7 tracks in here are told a different part of that. From Royal Time, I'm assuming that's when there was a decision made to come to Earth. Fusion, Beauty in Us, and Fusion to Love was kind of understanding that maybe things weren't that going to be completely terrible, but there was still some sort of like concern or animosity. I have a lot of respect for what Ellis has managed to accomplish throughout this entire sort of this entire sort of record. It's just such a well told story. Best of luck, honestly, to Ellis in future. Though he or she doesn't need it. They don't. Best of luck to Ellis in future. I don't think they need the luck. I don't know how they could have improved this. It's just spot on. That's all I really have to say about it. The different instruments were very engaging and beautiful throughout. There was obviously some attention paid to the formatting of the synthesizers and how they were sort of going to behave, and that requires a deep understanding of how they work in order to really get the most out of it. That is effectively my review, though, of Ellis Hadlock's Fusion to Love. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think I also spoke about these tracks within them at each part, so hopefully that kind of helps. I think, because I don't want to sort of repeat myself too much, and also my camera battery's running out of power. It'll be cool to see what Ellis does in the future with their music, whether they continue on the path of like UFOs or if they talk about other sort of anomalies or whatever. But I think within itself, I would seriously consider Ellis talk to game designers or other people related to that, just to really, because it would be a shame if they didn't. It'd be a shame if they sort of like didn't explore that option, because they were very talented and his music suits it very, very well. That's it. They don't, with just the music by itself, it's fantastic. Thank you very much for watching this review, though, of Ellis Hadlock's Fusion Love. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do stay cool and stay safe, and please do check out Ellis Hadlock's social medias. And I'm assuming they have a Spotify and a SoundCloud and all that. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spider hands out.